Does your family jump to conclusions, or did you grow up normal? So you know how like when white people hear a sound in their home and like no one's home, they're always like, oh my god, was that a ghost? Like, oh my god, was that Nana's dead spirit? Like, you know what I mean? Now, as a Muslim, like, I don't believe in all of that, right? Like, we don't have ghosts or anything, but we do have demons, you know what I mean? And they're called jinn, right? And I'm assuming that's where like Genie from Aladdin came from, like jinn, genie, you know what I mean? Anyways, ours are not blue and cute, you know what I mean? Not voiced by Will Smith, you know what I mean? They come in all shapes and sizes, you know what I mean? They're just like us. I'm kidding. But, you know, we have some descriptions of them, not that they matter because we can't fucking see them or interact with them, right? Now, having said that, they have a lot of folk tales and, like, stories and, like, you know what I mean? Like, these little things that your grandma might say that scares you as a kid, you know what I mean? Like, when I was a kid, you would hear, like, oh, stop playing outside after 6 p.m. before, you know, the jinn kidnap you. Like, you hear shit like this all the time. I think as a kid, I used to always just be like, oh, like, you know, it's just my grandma speaking. It's just my mom speaking. It's whatever. I did not know that they believed this shit, okay? So basically, this one time, we were moving from Egypt to Jordan. I grew up in Egypt, and my whole family lives in Jordan, so we finally, like, moved to Jordan, right? I was, like, maybe 7, 8, something like that. So basically, it was our first night, like, staying at our grandma's, right? So we always lived in apartments, so I was very used to, like, growing up in apartments. But now my grandma's like, you know, come stay with us, whatever. She lives in a house, and she was like, you guys can take the top floor, right? So we're gonna shift to my mom's point of view, right? So she wakes up, and she, like, you know, wants to do breakfast, like, good vibes, like, first day in Jordan, right? So she goes and looks for me, and she goes to my bedroom, and she doesn't find me. And she's like, you know what? He's a morning person. Maybe he went to the kitchen and he's like coloring in his little book, whatever. She goes to the kitchen, she doesn't find me. Then she's like, maybe he's playing PlayStation. He does that even though I tell him not to. She goes to the living room and she doesn't find me on PlayStation. Now there's a slight panic. Now this is where the jumping to conclusion really starts, right? So she decides to go downstairs to see if maybe I ran downstairs and went to my grandma's, right? So she's like going down the stairs, and as she's going down, she hears me behind the walls. So in the beginning, she's like, maybe I'm imagining things. So she starts screaming my name in the staircase, like at a wall, being like, Bibo, answer me. And like, after a while, I finally like hear her, I guess. And I answer. And I'm like, yeah? And then she's like, where are you? I was like, I'm here. My mom was like, I wanted to suffocate you. What do you mean here? She's like, how'd you get there? What the fuck? And I was like, through the door. And she's like, what do you mean? There's no door to the wall. How'd you get inside the wall? For some reason, I completely ignore that question. So now she's sitting in the stairwell being like, oh my God, like, he isn't answering me. Like, where did he go? He's inside the wall. He's claiming that there's a door to the wall. She was like, it's a jinn. My son was kidnapped by... Cut to my mom wailing, screaming at my grandma, being like, Mama, come here. I think my son's been kidnapped. So my grandma runs out of bed, runs to the staircase and gets her. And she's like, what do you mean? So she's waiting with her. They're both just sitting like next to the wall being like this. And like, they would just hear me here and there just being like, ah, you know what I mean? My grandma starts praying, right? And she's like Christian, so she's starting to pray. And then she's like, she waited like 5 minutes and she's like, yo, she tells my mom, she's like, yo, I don't think my prayers are working. Maybe he needs a Muslim prayer. My mom starts praying too, and she's literally like, maybe it's too late. Maybe the jinn just got him. Like, maybe it's over for us. Like, I don't know what to do in this situation. And they're both like going back and forth being like, okay, you know what? Let's just put Quran on the TV. Like, you know what I mean? Like almost like a Bible verse, but like a Muslim verse type thing. It's called the Quran, whatever. But like, she's like, oh, put like Quran on the TV. So like, maybe like whatever's in the house could leave, right? So they start playing Quran and everything. And I'm used to it. Like, my family plays Quran all the time. So I just thought nothing of it. I was like, oh, maybe they're just waking up. Like, I don't know. So my grandma starts thinking like maybe he's outside of the house. So she goes and checks all the doors, but all the doors are locked with like the keys like rammed inside. So it's like you can't even unlock it from the outside. So she's like, there's no way he left because how would he have locked the doors, right? Now they're genuinely panicking. Like at this point, I've been indoctrinated into a jinn cult and it was like a whole thing for them. At a certain point, my mom was like, maybe there's like a portal to the world behind the wall. So she starts looking for like some sort of entrance to the wall or something. So she's going up and down in the like on the staircase or whatever, trying to look for a door. And then at a certain point, she's like there's like a tiny window at the bottom part of the stairs that leads to like our back garden or whatever. But it's tiny. Literally, we all forget about it. You know what I mean? And we always leave it like slightly cracked open so we can like breathe, you know? And she was like walking past it, and then she heard something like very loud from right there. You know what I mean? So she like runs to the door, opens the door, like cracks it open, like runs outside, and she sees me on a scooter. She comes out, she grabs me, and she's like, where were you? How did you escape? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, escape? Like, what do you mean? After so much questioning, she realized that I was just simply, on my scooter outside, taking laps around the house. And every once in a while, I would hear my mom, like, screaming from inside, but it sounded like regular volume for me. So I was just answering her questions while I was taking my laps. So some questions I heard, some questions I didn't. And I didn't realize they thought I was, like, trapped behind a wall or anything. I just remember my mom, like, I remember her, like, running to me, hugging me, like, kissing me, like, reading, like, Quran on top of me. And then the second she, like, registered that I was just on my scooter taking laps around the house without permission, she was just like, yeah, ma, I wish a jinn took you.